Welcome to Margot Dreams of Baking. Today I'm going to show you how to make some beautiful flaky buttermilk biscuits. Stick around. To begin making these biscuits, mix 2½ cups or 354 grams of all-purpose flour with 1 tablespoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Next, mix in 2 tablespoons of vegetable shortening or lard. Use your fingers to work the lard into the flour mixture until it's all mixed in and there are pieces no bigger than the size of a pea. You can also use a pastry cutter for this. I just like the feel of using my hands so I can tell how big the pieces are. Once all the lard is mixed in, move your bowl to the freezer to chill while you prepare your butter. One of the secrets to flaky biscuits is to make sure that all of your ingredients are very cold. Before starting my biscuits, I froze a stick of butter, which is about 110 grams, in the freezer, and it needs to freeze for at least half an hour. Once it's frozen, you can grate it using a box grater to get nice, fine, even pieces that will spread throughout the mixture. Once all of your butter is grated, pull your flour mixture out of the freezer and add the butter to the mixture. Using a fork, mix around the butter until it's all incorporated into the flour mixture. Once you've mixed all the butter into the flour, place the mixture back in the freezer for another 10 minutes to get it chilled. Next, add 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of cold buttermilk. Using a spatula, mix the dough together until it forms a ball. You can add up to 2 tablespoons more buttermilk if the mixture is too dry. My dough is now just about mixed together. You'll see that it's still very dry looking and very shaggy, but once we start the rolling and folding, it'll start to come together a bit more. Once you have your dough mixed together, dump it out onto the counter and use your hands to bring it together. I found my dough was still a little bit dry at this point. So what I did was I just poured a little bit of buttermilk over top, very teeny tiny bit, and worked it into the dough until it came together. Next, with a floured rolling pin, roll the dough into a roughly 12 by 9 inch or 30 by 23 centimeter rectangle. If you find it sticks to the counter, you can add some flour underneath. I also like to spray my counter with some cooking spray before. That helps to keep the dough from sticking. Once the dough is rolled out, we're going to start laminating. That means making the layers. So take your dough and fold it in thirds like a business letter, and then in thirds again to form a square. Then you're going to roll out the dough one more time to that 12 by 9 inch rectangle and repeat your folding again. After the second round of folding, roll your dough out once more to about a 1/2 inch thickness. You'll notice that my dough has become a bit harder to roll out. The gluten has started to form. That will not affect the tenderness of the biscuits. Once you have your dough rolled to the desired thickness, use a 3 to 3.5 inch cutter to cut out some biscuits. I recommend using a metal cutter rather than a glass because glasses will compress the layers, whereas metal cutting straight down will not affect the layering of your biscuits at all. You can't get all of the biscuits cut in one dough, so what I do is I bring my dough back into a ball, do another little round of rolling and folding and cut out more biscuits. I continue this until all of my biscuits are cut out. At the end, I usually end up with one biscuit that's a bit craggy looking. Once all of your biscuits are cut out, place them on a baking sheet and place them in the fridge for at least 30 minutes or up to 1 day to get the butter nice and chilled before baking. 30 minutes before you're going to bake your biscuits, preheat your oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit or 230 degrees Celsius. I like to use a preheated griddle that I've put in the oven while it's preheating for the most even baking of my biscuits, but you can use a regular baking pan as well. When you have everything preheated, you're going to stack the biscuits together so that they're touching on your baking pan or your griddle. This will help them to scaffold and rise better. Then just before baking, you're going to brush the tops with up to 2 tablespoons of buttermilk. This helps them to get nice and golden brown on top when they're baking. Finally, you're going to bake them for 12 to 15 minutes until the tops are nice and golden brown. Let them cool for 5 minutes before serving. If they were baking on the griddle, you need to remove them from the griddle right away so that the bottoms don't burn. So here are my baked biscuits. You can see how wonderfully flaky they are and they just pull apart. They are soft and they're so delicious with some butter spread over top. I love to serve them with soup. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. For more videos, check out my playlists.